Hello, everybody. How are we all doing today? This will be William teching. I don't know. This is going to be the epilogue chapter for William for One Piece D&D. If you haven't seen the finale of One Piece D&D, I would highly suggest you go check it out. If you haven't been caught up to One Piece D&D, I would highly suggest you go get caught up over on Rustage's second channel, where every episode is. And then the last episode, episode 70 and 71, was like this big spectacular. Episode 70 was like 2 hours, and episode 71, the last episode, was like 4 hours long. So there's a lot of stuff going on here, but the conclusion happened. It's over. We're going to be doing One Piece D&D Marines in about a month. I think we're going to start that in June. I have my character working out on that right now, pretty much done there, so I'm going to talk about that when we get there. But for right now, at the end of One Piece D&D, we sort of had a moment where we were going into like epilogues for each of the characters, and it was pretty much just like very tearful and very like, it was like, oh, we're gonna miss everybody, and the crew kind of goes their separate ways. I have another epilogue, like another chapter that takes place a couple of years later, that I instead decided I'm just gonna make a video for rather than doing it during the stream. So that's what this is. Let's see. It's only like 144 hours worth of content. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? It's only 144 hours of content. How does he feel us watching? I'm here to get the immediate reaction. That's why this is here, right? Okay. So this takes place 3 years later, after the events of the final episode. I'm gonna have to. I don't think I have to spoil anything in the final episode, so I won't. It's just like, go watch the final episode if you haven't seen the final episode. Okay. Final episode happens. I guess the most notable thing is, yeah, the Devil's Luck Pirates do kind of separate and go their separate ways. That I have to kind of do that, okay? So I think William was 29 by the end of One Piece D&D. I think he started like he was 28 years old, and then I think he did like the events of One Piece D&D. I mean, that has to be at least a year. I feel like pretty close. So I feel like William was 29 at the end of One Piece D&D, and so now 3 years later, so he's like 32 or something like that. Okay. Now, I only have like a brief outline of this in my head of like what it was. I did not write this down or anything because that's not how I do things. I don't script anything. Okay. So this is the epilogue chapter. Okay. It's late at night. We open up with Marine HQ. Okay, this is old school Marine HQ located in Paradise. This is Marineford. Okay, and it's late at night, and then you see just a bunch of like searchlights turn on and a siren going off. Okay, just like shit's going on. Okay, and then you just see a bunch of Marines running through the hallways, and they're it's like, oh, what's going on? What's going on? We got the report. Somebody broke into the vault. Somebody broke in. We gotta go. We gotta go. Like, B squad, move. A squad, Alpha squad, whatever. I don't know, Marines. Okay, whatever. They're moving. They're moving. So somebody apparently has broken in to Marine HQ. People are running through the fucking hallways. Marines everywhere. You see a cloaked figure. All right, you see a figure wearing a cloak that's shrouded in silhouette, and you know they are running through the hallways very fast, and they're holding a silvered briefcase that looks to be of some import. Okay, and so there's like a scene where, you know, this person like is running through the hallways, and there's like people all around, and there's sirens and alarms and shit going off, and like all that kind of crap, right? Now there's a scene where the person like sees Marines rushing, and so they duck in between an alleyway, like between a pipe, or like they hide in the rafters, and the Marines like run by, and they're like, they can't find anybody, they're running by and whatever, and the person ends, and like this person is moving like the wind, man, like super swift, like, you know, ducking in and out of hallways, jumping up in the rafters, hiding in little like hiding behind trash cans or whatever, just like just maneuvering through this building in a way that's just like, you know, like perfect. Okay. And so, yeah. And so rushing through the whole thing, and then there's this one room that they go into, right? And the room is empty, all right? And it overlooks like a courtyard, okay? And so the person goes over to the window and kind of looks out into the courtyard. It doesn't see anybody in the courtyard, and they're like, okay. And so they jump out of the window, and they just elegantly float down, and they land in the courtyard, and they're about to like it's quiet for a moment. It's quiet. It's silent. Like there's nobody in this courtyard. It's not like a major courtyard. It's not like it's not like a big giant courtyard or anything like that, but it is outside. And so the person is just like, okay, got to try to figure out some way to get out of here and just start moving. And then all of a sudden, boom, bunch of searchlights just illuminate the entire courtyard, and the person is there, and a bunch of like Marine vice admirals. Like, we're talking like Marine vice admirals. Like, Momonga is there, Stainless is there, Cancer is there, all in their younger years, of course. And well, I guess in that sense they wouldn't be vice admirals. Yeah, okay. Scratch that. Vice admirals during the time period, because this would have been like almost 20 years ago. This was like 17 years before the start of One Piece. Okay, so yeah, I guess whatever. Garp is not there. Garp is not there. Let's see. Oh, actually, who's there? Kuzan is there. Kuzan is there. Yes, Kuzan. Vice Admiral Kuzan is there. Vice Admiral Borsalino is there. They are there. Garp is not, but they are all there. Okay. And so, yeah, you know what? Sure, Sakazuki's there as well. So there is like a group of probably like I want to say 7 or 8 vice admirals, and a bunch of Marine soldiers are there as well. And they're all kind of standing in this courtyard, kind of like they expected this person to be there. And not like to surprise why, but probably like through observation or hockey or whatever. Just like, they were planning for this. Like they were there for a reason. Like they knew this person was going to get there. Okay, and so we have somebody walk out with like Vice Admiral walk out with a sword, and they just kind of like whip their sword really fast, and like the wind just blasts through the fucking courtyard, and the cloak of the mysterious individual falls away, and it's revealed to be Doxy. Yes, okay, so it's revealed to be Doxy there. She's 3 years older than she was at the end of One Piece D&D, so she's a little bit taller. But it is Doxy wearing this really cool cloak, and she has this briefcase, and she kind of has this, like, worried expression on her face, like, oh, shit, what's going to happen here? This isn't good. And so the vice admirals are looking at her, and they're just like, you seem to be like a child, but we can't, you broke into Marine HQ. I don't know what your reason for that is, but we got to take that away from you. Borsalino especially would probably say something along the lines of, like, yeah, I mean, ordinarily we wouldn't want to murder a child, but you know what it is, it just has to go, you know what I mean? And so he charges up his light fruit, and it really looks like Doxy has like dead to rights here. Like Doxy is about to be just completely eviscerated from, like, she's about to be shot with like a light beam and about to be frozen solid and about to be burned alive, and like all the other vice admirals have like swords and shit. And then, however, one of the vice admirals though steps out from the crowd though, and before they really attack her, okay, and this vice admiral is revealed to be Trevor. Okay, so Trevor walks out, and he has, his hat and his beard, and he's wearing the very fancy clothing, and he's wearing the cloak and everything. He has a sword and all that. He's got a new sword after 3 years. He found another, like, Owazamono grade sword that's, like, really, like it's, like, the next level sword or whatever. And so he walks out, and he's like, no, I'm on duty tonight. I was the one... I should have been the one to take her down. I will be the one to defeat this thief right here and now. And so he pulls out his mighty sword, and some of the vice admirals are just like, hey, don't worry about it. You don't have to. Like, we like Kuzan, I can just freeze her right here and take care of it, man. Don't worry about it. It's like, no, this isn't your fight. This is mine. Let me take care of it, okay? And so Trevor just charges full speed, like, straight at Doxy. Boom! And she pulls out, like, a big fucking knife. She finally got her big fucking knife. She pulls out her big knife, and then boom! And just a big giant clash, like, right in the middle of the courtyard, right? And their battle is just going and going, and it's like eventually that's like super acrobatic. I'm not going to go into every little detail of the fight, but it's like super acrobatic, like choo 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 choo. And then Doxy is like ha 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 ha, and it's like, but she's being pushed back, and there's even a moment where Trevor slices her face and cuts up her arm, and and Doxy is just clearly outmatched here. And then there's a moment where they're like walking up on the walls, like vertically, like they're standing like at a 90-degree angle on the walls of the courtyard, and they're fighting. And the other admirals are just kind of staying back and just kind of observing. Okay, and so then they're kind of up on a wall on like the battlements, like overlooking like the town of Marineford. Like they're on top of like the hill, so like the town of Marineford is below them, and then there's the ocean, and they're kind of like dueling on this like plateau or whatever. And then Trevor rears back his sword, and it looks like this is going to be the finishing blow, like this is going to be the one, right? And so he brings down his blade on this battlement, and there's just this huge eruption of like, debris. Like he hits the battlement so damn hard, it like boom, like giant explosion, dust everywhere. Dust kind of fills the courtyard or whatever. And the vice admirals are there, and some of them are just like, oh yes, it's over. That's how it goes. Vice Admiral Trevor, you have defeated the enemy, whatever, not a big deal. They were able to get a little squirrely on us, get by us and everything. But they managed to they managed to kill him. It's not a big deal. So at this point, though, you have on the down in the town, below the dust cloud, you have the two shadowy figures emerge from the cloud, which is Trevor and Doxy. They're escaping, the Marineford. They are now in the town, and they're kind of like hopping around on the building, the roofs of like the buildings where like the civilians live and stuff. And it was like, and they're just having a conversation now. They're no longer fighting. And Doxy's like, "Oi! What the hell? Did you have to, like, slice my fucking face open?" And he's like, I had to make it look believable. They're not going to believe it. He's like, "I will fence you now." It's like, oh, come on, though. Like, damn it. Like, this stings. It's like, don't worry about it. We'll fix you up. Don't worry about it. Not a big deal. It's like, couldn't you let me get one fucking stab in? I'm like, well, no. I'm the vice admiral. I'm not going to get fucking stabbed. That would just look completely stupid, okay? And so at this point, it's revealed that Trevor is actually not, in fact, Trevor. Trevor is William. Trevor is William, and I clearly have just, like, I grew out a mustache. Like, it's impeccable. It's, like, exact, okay? Like, I got the hair down, I got the mustache down and everything like that. I broke into Trevor's, like, storeroom or his closet, and I stole his outfit and everything like that. So, yeah, I'm just playing Trevor, right? And so we both get down to a rendezvous point at like kind of like this shoreline. We escape to the beach. And it's like, now listen, that might have fooled some of the weaker Marines. Like, they don't know what's, up from down, honestly. That's not going to fool those vice admirals for very long, okay? Because they have like observation and shit. That's probably how they figured out you were even there. And it's like, no, they figured out I was there because you didn't tell me there was an extra security. No. It doesn't matter about that, all right? Let's just get out of here before they figure out what's going on, okay? So we get down to this like rendezvous point, this little cove down by the pier or whatever, and Boss is there, and Boss is waiting with this really cool fancy like ship. It's kind of like the Striker that Ace used. It's kind of like that, and just so we hop in, and it's just like, all right, let's get the fuck out of here, and then we just gun it, and we just get moving. All right, we just like go off there, and Boss is there and everything like that. Boss is like patching Doxy up as William is like driving this fucking awesome speedboat out of Marineford or whatever. And so Boss is like, really, you had to, like, Jesus, man, I don't even know if some of these are gonna heal. I think you pretty much gave her a scar. I'm like, great, got a fucking scar on my face now. It's like, cool, scars are cool. You can't be a cool badass rebel without having scars, like that's just how it is, right? So they're on the boat, they're driving the boat around, and we now cut away a couple hours later as the boat is arriving toward a ship that's anchored in the water. Okay, and it's a very shadowy, ominous ship. Like, ooh, okay? And it's like docked in the middle of nowhere on a moonless night, okay? And so we kind of like approach, and we just kind of like move up to it. What the hell is he talking about? Follow it. It's an epilogue. It's an epilogue. Yeah, all right. So we get to the ship, and we have this like, all right, do you have the stuff? Please tell me you didn't drop that briefcase while I was fighting you. It's like, no, I have it. It's right here. It's like, are you sure we want to do this, though? Is this the right thing to do? And I'm just like, well, I think it is. Rather, I feel like this is the right thing to do right about now. You know what I mean? Like, Doxy, come on, you know me. I'm not one for thinking ahead of the game and stuff like that, planning ahead, but I think for right now, this is the way to do it. Okay? And so she's like, okay, I guess, whatever. I mean, yeah, we're here, okay? And it's like, and Boss is there, and he's just like, hey, this is what he wanted to do, right? So we board the ship, and there's nobody on it at first. Like, nobody's there to greet us or anything. We just kind of board the ship. We just kind of jump on the ship because we're, like, super agile. We can all just kind of, like, jump on the ship at this point, right? So we're there, and I don't know. Like I said, I didn't write any of this down. I'm assuming there's like some kind of code word or something. I don't know. Like the pig is in the poke or like something like that. I don't know. It's like the bird flies at midnight or some shit like that. I don't know. And then out of nowhere, a person appears on the ship. There's like, they seem like to jump out of nowhere and land with a ginormous head and a huge blue afro. And they're just like, hee-haw! You made it! And I'm just like, yeah, we did. Nice to, yeah. It's like, there it is. And it's like, so we got the stuff. Hopefully now you understand that we are the best of the best of the best. Hee-haw, I was afraid you guys were going to get murdered. Break into Marineford and steal these documents. I was just messing with you, honestly. I didn't think you'd be able to do it. I think you'd be dead by sunup. And so we were like, oh no, that's, you know, I have status, you know what I mean? I used to be the captain of the Devil's Luck Pirates, and Doxy helped. It's like, she did most of the work, didn't she? And Doxy and Boss are both just like, yes, she totally did. So they're like, yeah. And so, yes, this is Ivankov, and this was sort of like this was like, I don't know if they're joining the revolution straight out, but it was kind of like a job they were contracted to do by the Revolutionary Army. And William, of course, being William, was all about like, hey, I want to prove to you I'm badass. I could do pretty much anything. And Ivankov kind of threw it out there as like a joke, like, oh, well, just break into Marineford then and steal this document in this level or whatever. And like, okay, you think we can't do that? Fuck that. We could do that. I got a man on the inside. I could do that. And so we did that, and we succeeded, and we got it. And so the implication is now William and Doxy and Boss are getting involved with the Revolutionary Army. So that is the epilogue I had planned for, you know, William and Doxy and Boss. So this is like 3 years after the event. So this is 7 years still before the events of Marines. So William became a mercenary then. Yeah, kind of a mercenary at first for at least a little while. Like, and he taught Doxy how to use, like, Boss and William both kind of taught Doxy how to use 6 powers and stuff. So she can use like Geppo and Soru and stuff like that now. But I don't know. By the time One Piece Marines starts, William might very well just be a member of the Revolutionary Army. But this is where it kind of started, right? So, yeah. Yep. So there you go. There's the epilogue. And will William cameo in One Piece D&D? I have no idea. I mean, he's still alive. He's not dead. By the way, I have not told Rustage this, so this is, you know, I did not tell Rustage what William was going to be doing, so this is what he's doing. So there you go. So I feel like we haven't really involved the revolutionaries that much in One Piece D&D, and probably the reason for that was quite simple. It was probably because the revolution hadn't really been up and running at that point, but because we just found out recently that they were the freedom fighters before this. So I feel like this would have been, let's see, 22 years before the present story of One Piece. That's when One Piece D&D starts. It starts 20 years before Luffy leaves Fuchsia Village. So since it's 20 years before Fuchsia, that means it's 22 years factoring in the 2-year time skip, okay? So that would mean that this is now 17 years before the current story. Okay, so this is when this is occurring. And then One Piece D&D Marines will be 12 years before the current story. Yeah, I think. If I got the timelines right. And also the idea is that the reason why maybe the Marines did not immediately chase after William and Doxy is because I look just like Trevor. And so the idea was I'm trying to, like, they're immediately going to think Trevor was a traitor. So I'm kind of sticking Trevor on the on the blame there. But so they're going to be like, Trevor's going to, like, he's going to show up and they're like, what the hell were you doing? And it's like, what? You know, it's like, yeah. So don't worry, he'll figure out a way around that. He's a smart guy. He won't get murdered. He won't get, like, discharged or anything or executed. He'll be okay.